Not sure how I'd fare in a little place like this. Revelio.
레벨 14 지도 나 로어 호그스필드 호그와트 계곡 퀘스트 다이달로스의 열쇠 해켓 교수님의 과제이 사랑의 보 A 레벨 인벤토리
I should investigate. Incendio. Revelio. Hello, Mr. Semi.
What can I do for you?
물건을 구경해도 될까요?
What do you have for sale?
마을 상점 술장식 숲참 현란한 망토 최고급
I'll have
필요
no
레벨
trouble selling
검은색
this.
가죽
Thank
글러브
you.
술장식 숲 황토색 퀴디치 글러브 근사한 회스 다크 납작 모자 중급 힐트 의복 다크 햇빛 차단 모자
Aren't you the
용기의 망토
student who ran all those
은퇴
goblin
안경
wireless
느슨한
stuff?
진홍색
I
잡
can't
힐트
tell you
의복
what a relief that was to
버건디
everyone in
퀴디치
Lower
글
Hogsfield.
항해사의 스카프 파란색 내눈박이 안경 술장식 숲 자물쇠 스카프
I hope to see you again sometime.
Protego! I know what that means. Merlin trial. Accio. Lumos. Incendio. Accio. Levioso. Protego. Levioso. Accio. Revelio. Accio.
레벨 14 퀘스트 전체 사랑의 포로 레벨 제도 하일랜드 노스포 호그와트 부지 호그스미드 제도 세계 제도 금지된 숲 호그와트 부지 호그스미드 퀘스트 호그스미드 부엉이 호그와트 남쪽 제역 호그와트 하일랜드 호그와트 부지 호그와트 A 호그와트 하일랜드 호그스미드 제도 연회장 후플푸프 A 당신의 목표 지점에 있는 블루 장비의 외형은 장비 메뉴에서 지금까지 수집한 기본 장비 또는 독특한 외형의 장비와 같
You wanted to see me, sir?
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself. So few students know who I am these days. Eldridge Diggory, former Minister for Magic and founder of the Aura Recruitment Program, at your service. I believe you can help solve a decades-old murder, thanks to that book you found, and, in particular, its missing pages.
How do you know about the book and the pages?
We portraits hear more than you might suspect, and most of us can keep a secret. So, what say you? Surely a Hufflepuff such as yourself would be inclined to help seek long overdue justice.
정의를 실현해야죠.
I'll do whatever I can.
Wonderful. I am pleased to have been right about you. My great-niece, Helen Thistlewood, can provide you with details. She's retired now, but was a skilled aura in her day. And the unsolved murder of which I speak was her case. I often visit my portrait in her home, in the nearby hamlet of Upper Hogsfield. Shall I tell her to expect you?
곧장 거기로 갈게요. 페이지가
How could a few pages of a book help her solve an old case?
A boy disappeared with those pages, but they never found the body. A girl was convicted of his murder nonetheless. It seems those pages could exonerate her somehow. My great-niece can tell you more.
곧장 거기로 갈게요.
Can you tell me more about your great niece?
Cream of the crop when it comes to auras. A star pupil here, and then an exemplary servant to the ministry. And her spark hasn't diminished one bit in her retirement. She and I often chat about old cases and our glory days. No offense, but it's nice to get away from the students and converse with someone who's familiar with my legacy.
곧장 거기로 갈게요. 헬렌 씨,
When were you the Minister for Magic?
Over 100 years ago. 1733 to 1747, to be precise. The stories I could tell you. Didn't have the chance to do all that I could. I was in the midst of reforming Azkaban when my life was cut short by dragon pox. I was sneezing sparks to the bitter end.
곧장 거기로 갈게요.
I shall go and see her right away.
Brilliant. With what I suspect is your knack for hard work and her keen mind, both mysteries may be solved sooner than you think. I shall see you there, soon I hope.
진도 블루 불꽃 위치 나 세계 진도 호그스미드 진 세계 진도 마담 스넬링의 미장원 할리오페 스넬링이 운영 세계 진도 노스포드 숲 호그스미드 호그와트 북쪽 호그와트 하일랜드 호그와트 전체 진도 호그와트 남쪽 지역 호그와트 남쪽 지역 A 장비의 외형은 장비 메뉴에서 빠른 이동 장소를 잠금 해제하기 위해 블루 불꽃을 찾아내세요. 새로운
A castle. Must have been quite stately in its time. Accio.
레벨 14 B 제도 호그와트 호그스미드 계곡 하일랜드 호그스미드 호그와트 북 호그와트 납 수집가의 호그와트 부지 호그와트 제도 호그스미드 퀘스트 A 퀘스트 인벤토리 퀘스트 제도 해켓 교수님의 과제이 천문학통 해켓 교수님의 피그 교수 어둠의 맙 A 장비의 외형은 장비 메뉴에서 많은 퀘스트는 주문이나 레벨 필요 조건을 가지고 있습니다. 퀘스트 로그에서 퀘스트
Revelio. Revelio.
Make a point! Get away from me!
레벨 14 B 루모스 오른쪽
Revelio. Revelio.
Awful when they ask you a question, though, isn't it? Grubby little faces. I'll just die.
Revelio. Revelio.
부분 변신
Defending Hogsmeade against trolls. You know, there is trying too hard.
hope you were able to take care of everything.
Professor, I completed all of your most recent assignments.
Well done. Then you're ready to learn Expelliarmus. Pay close attention. The disarming charm may often be all you need to defeat the most powerful dark witches and wizards you might encounter. Spellcasting requires a focused mind and a steady wand. Good work. The dummy is here if you wish to stay and practice.
B. 루모스 인센디오 엑스펠리아르무스 피해 Y 상단 할당 오른쪽
Professor, do you have a moment?
I do. What is it?
엑스펠리아르무스는 집 호그와트에 다니셨나요?
I wondered, did you attend Hogwarts?
I did. I am a proud member of Ravenclaw House. Why do you ask?
I was curious as to how Hogwarts has changed over the years.
I see. Well, the castle itself, as I'm sure you have surmised, is full of surprises. I dare say more than the staircases change around here. As for the students, well, they seem to get more capable every year. Although, we got up to just as much mischief in my day as you seem to now. I used to look the other way at all sorts of roguery when I was head girl. I can tell you, however, that I did once admonish a certain Phineas Nigellus Black for enjoying a sugar quill during a lecture.
I hadn't realized that you and Professor Black were, students here together.
Appearances can be deceiving. You see, I was once wounded by time itself.
정말 흥미롭네요.
Time itself. I never would have imagined such a thing.
Ah, well, it was the risk I took with my prior position. You may or may not have heard that I was an unspeakable at the ministry for years.
An unspeakable? What does...
As you might suspect, I cannot speak about what we did. Suffice it to say, the job was not without its hazards. Now, I hope I've satisfied your curiosity for the moment.
You have. Thank you for speaking with me, Professor.
Keep up with your wand work. One must always be prepared for mischief, both inside and outside of the castle.
지도 블루 불꽃 위치 퀘스트 A 다이달로스 사랑의 포로 엘드리치 디고리 다이달로스의 열쇠 레벨 인벤토리 레벨 14 제도 블루 불꽃 위치 호그스미드 세계 제도 호그와트 하일랜드 호그와트 A 호그스미드 계곡 호그와트 남쪽 지역 호그와트 남 어려운 전투 장비의 외형은 장비 메뉴에서 위력 마법, 제어 마법, 피해 마법 주문을 주문 세트에 하나씩 장착해 놓음.
Well done at crossed wands. Wonder how well our professors did.
Revelio.
우드크로프트의 캔디스.
Seems your heart isn't in this at all. I won't rest until you're dead. Regret coming.
Potato. Stupid. Too late for you to learn the error of your ways. Protego!
이
Revelio. Expelliarmus!
비 루모스 인센디오
Incendio!
비
Revelio. Accio. Revelio. Accio. Revelio. Accio. Levioso. Accio.
더 많은 고대 마법 파스팟을 발견하고 고대 마법 MP의 용량을 늘리기 위한 챌린지를 완료하세요.
Revelio. Protego. Stupid Revelio. Revelio.
스코틀랜드 고유의 미로의 역사를
Incendio.
레벨 14 장비 레벨 얼굴 장식 세라믹 마스크 전설급 손 보호구 망토와 로브 장착한 아이템 거친 로브 중급 손 보호구 얼굴 장식 투명 얼굴 장식 레벨 D
Revelio. This must be the place Minister Diggory mentioned. Helen lives around here somewhere.
Welcome to Upper Hogsfield. Charming hamlet. Don't tell the... Shame Bardolph thought dark magic was the answer. I reckon...
Excuse me. Did you say something about Bardolph Beaumont?
I did. I don't think we've met. I'm Dorothy Sprottle. I was just worrying about Claire Beaumont's brother Bardolph, only he's gone missing. Rumour is he was seen in the forest practicing dark magic. Saw him myself near some ruins with Rookwood's lot I did. I fear he got himself into trouble with the Ashwinders, especially if he made them a promise he couldn't keep. I'd help search for him myself, but no one will risk encountering Ranrock's loyalists. They seem to be everywhere.
제가 잘 살펴봐야겠어요.
Why would Bardolph want to get involved with the Ashwinders?
Oh, he had a terrible run-in with Ranrock's loyalists. Changed him. He vowed never to feel powerless again. I think he sought the Ashwinders out to learn their secrets. Victor Rookwood, at least, seems somehow immune to Ranrock's loyalists.
제가 잘 살펴봐야겠어요. 아돌프는 본인이
Do you think Bardolph may have simply run off?
No. Bardolph's run that shop with Claire his entire life. He'd not give it up for anything. He swore he'd be back in a fortnight. My instincts are that he's been held captive, or worse.
제가 잘
I can certainly look out for him.
Any help would be appreciated. You might speak to Claire first. Perhaps she has some insights that I don't. I can tell you that Bardolph was last seen in the forest wearing a particular woolen jumper, one that Claire knitted herself. Claire will be at her shop if you'd like to speak with her.
일단 다 받아볼까요?
Revelio.
이
Revelio. Revelio. Revelio.
다시 올라가야 되는 불상사래. 잡았어.
이 뒤로
뭐죠? 루모스로 다리 건넌 다음에 뭔가 있는 거.
Ranrock's loyalists are a menace. What can be done?
지나가다 들었는데요.
Madame Beaumont, might I speak with you?
Yes. What about?
Mrs. Sprottle told me a little about your brother's disappearance.
Oh, dear Dorothy. She'd go looking for Bardolph herself if she could.
부인이 걱정을 많이 하셨어요.
She mentioned dark magic in even the Ashwinders.
Despite my repeated warnings, Bardolph's been experimenting with dark magic near the edge of the forest. I thought perhaps he'd get it out of his system and it would gradually stop. But then one day, he didn't come home.
제가 알아볼게요.
Is there anything your brother took with him that might help to track him down?
Only his satchel, journal, and a woolen jumper I knitted for him. That's all I can recall.
제가 알아볼게요.
Could Bardolph have run off?
No, he'd never leave me here alone. He did speak of going to talk with Victor Rookwood. That worries me almost more than his attempts at mastering dark magic. Rookwood is as dangerous as Ranrock, in my opinion.
제가 알아볼게요.
I'll let you know if I see or hear anything about him.
Thank you. How kind. I'd be so grateful to learn where he is. I know in my heart he's out there. Do be careful.
물건 좀 구경해도 될까요?
What do you have for sale?
Bardolph, where are
마을
you?
상점,
I'll not give up
죽음의
hope.
압축, 거미 송곳니, 작정 변털, 항해사의 기숙사 F와한 에메랄드 로브,
Marvelous.
은
I could
나무테
always use more
안경,
of these.
항해사의
Upper Hogsfield
술장식
is
습,
terrorized by
항해사의
Ranrock's
스탑,
loyalists.
기숙사
It's
엠블럼
not right.
스타프.
Thank you for passing through.
지나가다 들었는데요.
I couldn't help but overhear. Did you mention Ranrock's loyalists?
I did. Never imagined they'd act this deadly. I'm Claire Beaumont, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
Ranrock and his followers have set up camp here. No regard for our beloved hamlet or our livelihoods. Ruthless. My brother Bardolph dared to stand up to them and ended up in St. Mungo's. I'm simply at my wit's end.
제가 놈들을 쫓아내 볼게요. 추종자 왜 어퍼
Why
호그스필드에
don't you simply leave the area for now?
Upper Hogsfield is my home. Bardolph and I grew up here. No, we are standing firm. Once my brother returns, then we shall decide what to do next. He's gone to seek Victor Rookwood's advice. I didn't approve of that idea, but perhaps in the end it will help.
제가 놈들을 쫓아 추종자들의 캠
You said Ranrock's loyalists have set up camp here. Where, precisely?
To the south, across the river. Last I heard, there were several loyalists in each camp. I won't go near them.
제가 놈들을 쫓
How did your brother Bardolph end up in St. Mungo's?
Bardolph had spent the entire day hand-picking herbs and roots for us. When a group of Ranrock's lot appeared and demanded the harvest for themselves, Bardolph refused. In their anger, they hurled him against a rock and robbed him. The moment he left St. Mungo's, he vowed revenge. I worry he may be dabbling in magic that he will one day regret.
제가
I'm
놈들을
unfortunately
쫓아내
quite familiar
볼게요.
with Ranrock's loyalists. Perhaps I can do something.
Much as I would love to be rid of them, I wouldn't want you to risk injury, or worse. Please be cautious. We should not have to live in fear.
If
This
things
is our
keep going
home.
as they are.
It seems as though things are getting worse. Best be on my guard.
Historically speaking, there's never been a...
Revelio!
Dr. Griffin was the greatest duelist in history.
빅 호박 주스
Revelio! Expelliarmus! Incendio!
이
Revelio. Revelio.
I met a girl once. Looked like a
Here you are. I'm pleased to see you took my advice.
시슬과 배지. 친애하는 헬레넥.
Madam Thistlewood, I met your great uncle in his portrait in my common room. He sent me to speak to you.
I'm pleased you came. Uncle Eldridge believes the book you found and its missing pages may be relevant to an unsolved case from my time as an aura.
Very well. I'm listening.
Decades ago, a student named Richard Jackdaw disappeared after going to meet a girl named Anne. They never found his body. When his headless ghost appeared briefly in Hogsmeade, wholly unaware of how he died, Anne was convicted of his murder and sent to Azkaban. It was in large part due to the testimony of a girl called Apollonia Black. Jealous of Anne, I think.
That sounds terrible, but I'm not sure how I can help.
Anne's alibi was somewhat labyrinthine. She said Jackdaw promised her adventure following a map he found on some pages he'd stolen from Peeves.
And you think Peeves ripped those pages from the book I found in the restricted section?
If my great-uncle is to be believed, yes. At least that's what the portraits at Hogwarts suspect. Anne insisted that Jackdaw had asked her to follow the map with him, but only after she solved a series of puzzles he'd prepared. Odd way to woo a girl. She swears she never even solved the first puzzle, so they didn't meet. Jackdaw's ghost vanished almost as soon as he appeared. Without Jackdaw's puzzle, pages, or remains, Anne was sent to Azkaban based solely on Apollonia's spurious testimony.
I don't understand. What can I do to help?
I believe Anne may have solved the first puzzle by now, but after spending time in Azkaban, she's a shadow of her former self. She won't speak to anyone she doesn't trust, and she trusts no one. If you, a student with a connection to the pages, like Jackdaw had, spoke to Anne, she might reveal new information.
앤이란 분에게 도움이 될 수. 아즈카반은
What a horrible story. If you think I can help, I'll come with you.
This is wonderful news. You are to be commended for your kindness and bravery. Fortunately, being a retired aura has its benefits. We can apparate right to her. I've escorted ministers, professors, and many others to that blasted place. Never a student, I'll admit, but I will keep you safe.
갈 준비가 됐어요. 아폴론 잭도우의 유령은 어떻게
You
되었?
said Jackdaw's ghost appeared briefly, then vanished. Where do you think he went?
I have no idea. Evidently, he was always a bit restless, going on and on about adventure. If I had to guess, he tired of Scotland and is somewhere on the other side of the globe by now.
갈 준비가 됐어요. 수감자 앤은
I'd like to know more about Anne.
That poor soul never was the brightest girl, and that lack of wit proved to be her undoing.
I half suspect Jackdaw and Apollonia were merely toying with her. Who could have known he'd end up dead?
She's not held up well in Azkaban.
In some ways, she blames me for not proving her innocence. I'd like to clear her name if we can.
할 준비가 됐어요.
Can you tell me more about Apollonia Black?
Wretched, vindictive girl, that one. Apollonia claimed that Anne threatened to kill the boy after he broke her heart. The Black family's power over certain people in the ministry, along with the fact that Anne is Muggle-born, sealed her fate.
할 준비가 됐어요.
Very well. Let's go.
Steady yourself. We'll apparate together. Don't worry, I've never splinched anyone.
Do take care now, and tread lightly in that horrible place.
We'll be there in but a moment.
몇몇 퀘스트는 새로운 흰색 외곽선 표시는 당신의 현재 목표물을
이거 메인 가기 전에 원래 좀 보조 좀 해놓고 갔어야 되는데 뭐 일단 메인부터 먼저 가자. 아직 가봤니? 디맨더인가?
That ought to keep them at bay for now. Though, be aware, you may feel a wave of despair. It will pass.
Thank you for the warning.
This really is a dismal place, but we'll be out of here soon enough. Now follow me. Do keep your wits about you.
I never thought I'd see the inside.
레벨
잠깐 끊었다 갈게요.
2 뒤로 X